Tell you what, the trees are beautiful right now. We're kind of at the peak of fall color, and it's a windy day. You can see the anemometer spinning up there. Something awesome that we added this year is a light switch. Check this out. Nice and bright in here now. So on those dark winter nights when we have to come out here, we don't have to carry flashlights with us anymore. Very nice addition. Had the electrician put some outlets too. There's an outlet over here, and there's one back there, and there's one over there, and one over here. And there's an outlet up there too, so in the future we can put an automatic garage door opener on this door. Take all the manual effort out of it. But anyway, winter time is coming, as bad as I hate it. Tell you what, guys, it seems like that winter lasts forever. Summer goes by so fast, and then winter just lasts forever. But I'm gonna try and get this tractor ready, because it won't be long now till the snow is flying. You know, when I was shopping these tractors last year, I saw where they put the fuel tank on these New Hollands, and you know, right off the bat, I really liked that. You know, I felt like I would like that a lot better than having it up here on the hood, which is where it used to be. But honestly, after using this thing all year, I'm getting to where I don't really like this. There is a couple of advantages to it. I mean, you know, it adds a little bit more weight back here behind the rear axle where you want it, you know, and I guess it could be a worse location as far as access, but by the same token, I don't really like it because number one, it's hard to get to if you have an attachment on. You know, like this isn't hooked up right now, but let's just say, for example, your land plane or your box blade was hooked up. Well, you kind of have to like step over it and like put a leg down in there in between your hitch bars so that you can straddle it and get your fuel tank up here. And this is pretty high. I mean, you can see where it's at on me. I'm a full size 6'3" guy. You know, and it's almost chest high on me. So that means you have to lift your 5-gallon diesel jug up almost face level to fill this up. And that can be kind of a pain. So you're putting your body in a weird position and you're holding this gas jug, or diesel jug rather, up here high. So I don't really like that. You know, it's turned out to not be ideal after all. And the second thing about it is, you know, obviously this is, what do they call that? Polyethylene or propylene or something. You guys probably can pronounce that properly. Basically, it's a plastic fuel cell is what it boils down to. And, you know, it's exposed to the air. And so this tends to freeze really easily. The diesel fuel will gel up really quick in this tank. And partially it's because of where it's mounted. I mean, maybe it's in my head, but it just seems like the old tractor where the fuel cell was down in there, kind of out of the wind and everything, it just didn't gel up as quickly. This one, I mean, it gels up in a New York minute. So I have to run anti-gel in here constantly when the weather even remotely gets below freezing, or I have found that it'll gel up. So I got to get that done. The product that I've been using was this one here, this Howe's diesel treat. Honestly, I don't really like this stuff either. It seems like, I mean, the instructions said to put, I think it was 1 ounce. It says 1 ounce will treat 5 gallons. So, you know, on the tractor over there, the tank is what, 7 or 8 gallons. So I would put like 1.5 ounces in there, and it wouldn't hardly do anything. I mean, it wouldn't keep the fuel from gelling at all. So then I'd put like a couple of ounces in there. You know, I have to basically end up doubling up the dosage, and it does a decent job, but I've still had a few issues. So I probably won't buy that particular product anymore. See how many hours we've got on here now. I think it's around 90 hours now. 86.8, yeah, coming up on 90 hours. I did go ahead and do a service on this earlier this year. There's the dipstick kind of way back in here behind the framework and everything for the loader. Yeah, looking good. Oil still looks good, so that's a good thing. But yeah, we went ahead and I went ahead and changed the oil. You guys probably remember that back in the summertime. I put a new oil filter on it. I also changed out both of those hydraulic filters. You know, you've got this one here, and then there's another one over there on the other side. I went ahead and changed both of those out. The dealership said not to change the fluid, which makes sense. The manual indicated to change the fluid. On your first service, it said to go ahead and change the fluid out. But the fluid still looks awesome. And see if I can get over here without falling down. And stuck. Trying to step over this great big 6-foot land plane here. But anyway, the fluid looked really good. Dealership said not to change it. I mean, this stuff is just so expensive, so it makes sense that you wouldn't change it until it gets dirty looking. But anyway, hydraulic fluid is good. All the filters are good. The oil's been changed. So I guess we're good to go. Got my diesel anti-gel in there. So now I just have to decide what kind of implements we're going to use. You know, I've acquired this thing since last winter. I don't think it would do much for snow. I mean, obviously it's not made for that. And the way that these things work, it's not really going to help out much. So we'll probably resort back to the box blade again. I do have this plow now for the ATV. So, you know, I could pop that plow on the ATV if it's a light snow. That's what I'm thinking that I'm going to try first. If we get, you know, 2, 4, 6 inches of snow, I think this would probably be a lot faster. You know, because I can just angle that blade and zip down there real quick on that ATV and push the snow out of the way. So I think I'm going to try this when we have the lighter snows. But when we have those deeper ones, the problem is I've got several hundred feet of pavement there to do. And so you end up with the snow really piling up, and that's when the tractor comes in handy because then you can just take the bucket and literally move the snow off of the road, dump it somewhere, and get it out of your way. So probably going to end up using a combo of the tractor and the ATV this year, but we'll figure something out. It's gonna kind of depend on what type of storm we end up getting, pretty much. The other awesome thing about having electricity in here now is that I can hook up my battery. I've got a battery charger here that I picked up at the Harbor Freight, and I can just plug it in right here and keep my batteries charged and ready to go here in the barn. So I've always got a strong battery. I've used this a few times just to jump start other vehicles, and it's real handy to have that, you know, that you can carry wherever you need it and jump start something real quick. That's mainly what I've been using this battery for, is just to start vehicles that die, so I don't have to physically drive my truck to where that dead vehicle is, you know. So the advantages of electricity, I'll tell you. But yeah, somebody was asking me if I still like this New Holland tractor. I mean, it's doing great. The only issue that I've had, which I haven't really even had the dealer look at it yet, but that noise, remember that horrible noise it was making when I first started up? It sounded like it had air trapped in the hydraulic lines or something, and so the first 10 or 15 seconds it would try to purge that air out, and it would make this awful whining noise. The last few weeks it hasn't been doing that as bad, so I don't know if it's kind of an issue that's rectifying itself or what, but that's really the only thing that's been going on with the tractor. The bucket, we'll go into this in another video. I think this bucket may be a little bit oversized for this tractor. I mean, that's a pretty good sized bucket. And just the way that it's all designed, the tractor just can't really control the bucket very well. But we'll go into that another time. Anyway, the New Holland tractor's been doing great. I still like it. You know, the hydrostatic transmission definitely is super convenient. Very, very convenient. And that's the reason that I got it. You know, I wanted the hydro because of how convenient I knew it would be. So, you know, it's definitely got lots of advantages. But I do still find, even with 40 horsepower, I do still find that hydro trans really does suck a lot of power. A lot of power that you would be able to keep if you had a gear drive tractor. So I don't know, like if I was back in February doing this all over again, you know, they had the 35 horse with the gear drive and then the 40 horse with the hydro. You know, if I was doing it all over again, I might go with a 35 gear drive just because it was so much less money. I mean, you're talking a few $1,000 less money. And the 35 with the gear drive, I'm betting you would feel just as strong, if not stronger, than this tractor, simply because that transmission doesn't soak up so much power. There's not, you know, as much parasitic loss. But anyway, I'm still happy with it. I mean, it's super convenient. It does a great job. I like it a lot. So I guess that means we can finally retire this thing for the season. No more grass for a while. It's time to start using the shovels and the plows now. Oh, and I almost forgot the salt. Well, I don't even know if it's salt. It's eco-friendly ice melt. The bag is already starting to deteriorate a little bit. But I bought some of this stuff at Rural King, I think it was, last year because it's not very hard on the concrete. You know, a lot of the time you don't want to put salt and stuff out on concrete because it'll eat it up. This stuff here is supposed to be, you know, environmentally more friendly, and it's also not supposed to eat up your concrete. At least that's what they told me. So that's what we'll be spreading out. I'm gonna have to go get more bags of this. And down the gravel lane, like way down the road, we've actually got a trash can that we leave down there. On that hillside, the hillside you guys have seen me scraping snow off of many, many times before. We have a trash can down there that's just full of salt so that any of the property owners that, you know, are the first ones to make it to the hill on a snowy morning can get out and grab some salt and throw it out there real quick. So anyway, sometimes I even use this seed broadcaster to spread it out. Makes it a whole lot faster. Yeah, I'll tell you guys, I can't believe it's almost winter time again. Summer really does go by so fast. And then like the next 7 or 8 months, it'll be cold around here. Cold and clammy, and then we'll start getting the snow and the ice. And it's a real pain. I used to say, you know, that I didn't understand why people retire and then move to Florida. Well, the older I get, the more I understand why people move to Florida when they retire. Now, up here at the house, what I'll do sometimes if we get one of those really light snows, if it's just like an inch or two, is I'll use the leaf blower. Have you guys ever done that before? It actually works really well, especially if you get a dry, powdery snow. Like I said, if it's really deep, it doesn't work, but if it's just an inch or two of snow, you can hook up your leaf blower and go out through there, and then it'll just blow the snow right off the driveway really fast. That's pretty awesome sometimes. Hey, do you guys have any special tricks that you use to move snow? Anything I haven't really covered? I mean, we've got stuff to push snow and pick up snow and move snow and blow snow and melt snow. I think I've got it all covered, but there's always some tricks that some guys use that, you know, maybe others haven't thought about. So if you've got some ideas of how to do this job more quickly and efficiently, pass them along. Post in the comment section down there, let us know what you guys do. Because man, I want to tell you, when it's like 10 degrees and there's a wind chill factor and there's snow on the ground and the wind is howling, the last thing you want to do is spend a bunch of time outside on the tractor, you know? So any way that you can do it faster and more efficiently is worth looking into for sure. Sort of a random side note, but another thing I'm going to do now that we're going into winter, I think I'm going to take those Timbren rubber overload springs out of here. If you guys remember, I'll kind of go into this more later, but I use those Timbren spacers in there, or springs, to help reduce the sag when I'm towing. But I mean, in the winter time, we're not going to be towing and camping, so I might as well take those out because they do affect the ride quality a little bit. And I was thinking about something today that I hadn't thought about before, which is the stress, the added stress to the frame that they may cause. So that may be something we go into in the next video as well.